Don't you fret. Don't you fret. Don't you fret. It's time to fret the fretboard. We're getting started right now. There, I did it without laughing. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. You saw the last video when we got started on the Cigar box guitar and I glued the fretboard onto the neck. I said the next video was going to be measuring where we're going to put the hole in the box and all that kind of stuff, but I forgot a couple of things. First of all, I forgot there were no frets on the guitar, on the neck. So I'm putting the frets on. I'm going to show you how I do that with, I left a few undone here. And another thing I want to do, and I'm not sure I'm going to do that in this video, is I don't like these necks that just have this little tiny headstock on. So what I'm going to do is take some of this red oak, which is the same thickness as this, and I'm going to cut some pieces and glue them on here and make this really big gigantic headstock. And then I'm going to shape it into some sort of shape. And I already cut one of these off to go on the one side, and I was just going to show you where I measured it and cut the second one off, but I can't find it, so now I have to do two. So I don't know if I'm going to do that this video or not, but what we're going to do is do some fret work, put some frets on here. Now, I had bought, when I built, I forget which one it was. It was either the Les Paul or the Strat. One of them had a dented fret or two in the neck. And so I bought this cheap set of frets. And these are all different lengths. And replaced the fret on there. And so I figured, well, I have a bunch of these. It was a set of 24 and I only need 21 for this, so I figured I'd use these. Well, when I took them out, when I went to put them in here, they're not, I don't know if these were for like a ukulele or something. I have no idea. I just bought them. But the groove that's cut in here, it's too big for these. They don't seat. They'll seat all the way down without any help, but they don't stay. And I sure as hell didn't want to glue them in. So what I decided to use was I bought a bunch of these packs of Fender frets. And these are medium frets, and they're real nice. And they need to be helped along to get in here, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you. I already did quite a few of them and nipped them and filed them, and I'm going to show you how I did that right now. So if I don't get to this part of the headstock, that'll be another video, because I probably won't, the way things are going. But let's take a closer look at this. All right, as usual, horrible camera angle. I have so much stuff in here now, it's really hard for me to find a place to put this tripod. And I can't zoom in using this angle from my phone. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that. But anyway, all of these frets, whereas this cheap set I bought had several different cut sizes, these are all the same length. Okay, So, and they're also curved. They come with a radius already built in. So what I try to do here, and that's the other thing, the frets have a radius, this fretboard does not. Put these on here and I kind of just try to center it. My spectacles. Let's see what I'm doing. Kind of center it here. I got one of these little hammers. You can get these in the hardware store. You can even find them sometimes in the dollar store. It's got a plastic end and a rubber end. Plastic, I use both. I don't think it makes any difference. You can buy, I mean, I bought this online. It was $5, supposed to be a fret hammer, but you can spend $30 and get the same thing. It's just a cheap hammer with a plastic head. So I just sit this in the slot. Okay, kind of line it up. Tap it. Tap it in. Tap it in, and I flip it over and use this rubber end. Don't be afraid to hit it. You're not going to hurt anything. And I don't know if you can see that, but it seats pretty well. Like I said, these have a radius, so there's a little bit of a, you can get your fingernail under there. I mean, make it easy to get them out if I ever need to change one. But basically, that's it. It's in there. So far, knock wood, haven't had any of them pop out or give me any problems. And nothing's split, nothing's cracked. I did ding up this thing a little bit here and there with my filing just because I have fumble fingers. Now I bought this, it's called Fast Cap. It's a spring-loaded, supposedly fret nipper. It's funny, I got this from some tool place on the West Coast, I don't know. It came in a sleeve, cardboard with the clear plastic piece holding it, and it was for a totally different tool than what this is. So I don't know if it was bought and returned or what, but it works fairly well. However, right after I started to cut the first couple, it was having an effect on the edge here. It's not the greatest fret nipper, and since I used it a few times, it was actually getting it actually has a little chip out of it there, and so I have to cut, like when I cut these, I just put it on here, and I can't cut the whole thing, I can't get it flush, so I have to make 2 cuts. So a cut, there it came off fairly good, but not that great. Then I put the other end right up, the second cut, right up against, and cut this off as close to the fretboard as possible. You see, now I squeeze that, it's not cut all the way through. This is what kind of bugs me about these. So I have to make a second cut, I have to move it over. So what I did, because of the frustration with this and the dissatisfaction and the fact that it's not even worth returning it, I went and put the money out and got a pair of these from Stu Mac. Now I have not tried these yet, they're supposed to be great. We'll see. Once again, same thing, bottoming out here. I'm gonna have to make 2 cuts. So let's see what happens. Ooh, that was nice. Nice cut. Now, same thing, I'm gonna put it right up against so I can get it as close to flush as possible. And nice. Okay, that seemed to work fairly well. It doesn't look like it dinged up the edge. So there we go, pretty good flat cut there. Now, the next step is I take my little Stu Mac fret file. This was about 10 or 11 bucks. The bottom of it is smooth. Well, there's actually no grooves on the top or the bottom, but the bottom, there's a curve at this end. I don't know if you can see that curve there. That's the part you want down. And this is supposedly not supposed to mar up your fretboard, and it really doesn't if you're careful. So what I do is I put my finger here next to the fret, put this, start up here at the tip, and then I just go down and kind of turn it as I go, like so. And I put my finger here so it doesn't slip off. I learned that because up here it slipped off a couple times and I marred these up a little bit. But I do about 12 on each side, so that's 3, 4. That's pretty good. Okay, after I do this, the thing is you're still a lot of times going to have a little bit of a nub here. So then I will take the file and sometimes I've done this first. Just take the file and lay it flat here, put my finger against it, file this little nub off of there so that it's flush. Then when it starts to feel flush, I kind of lean the file back a little bit to sort of put a little of angle on that. Because the whole point is to have these fret ends rounded off so you're not cutting your fingers on them when you play. And I learned from experience that when I thought some of my kits that I've done, some of the necks which I thought had great fret jobs on, after I was done with them, I realized, wow, you still have some sharp fret ends on, so that they're all going to get redone eventually. But okay, so that's fairly flush. Now I did this side 12, make sure I have my file set the right way. Then I'm going to go this side 12. See how sometimes it slips off. That's why I have my finger there. You don't have to put a lot of pressure on here. You get the feel. You get the feel for it when you get to know your own strength. I lost count. Can't count and talk at the same time. But pretty good. No sharp edge there. Do a couple more on this side. Okay. Probably can't see that too well, but it's pretty good. Now this side, you see that's not flush. So first thing I'm going to do is try to get that flush. Put my finger there, hold this flat. Draw it down. And I start to angle it back a little bit. Still a little high. This is another thing, I put a little bit more pressure on this to flatten this than I do when I'm smoothing the edge, or the end. Put a little more pressure to get this edge down flush. But you still don't need too much. It's not like I'm going, oh. You don't have to do that. Do yourself a favor, learn to use your finger as a guide. It really helps. All right, make sure I have this the right way. Finger here. This time I'm going to count. Now 12 is not some number that I heard somewhere or saw somewhere. It's just, I found that by doing all these, if I do this 12 times, pretty much does the job without having to overdo it. If you're not ambidextrous, in other words, if you can't use tools with the same kind of accuracy with both hands, you have to figure out a way to do this with your right or your left hand, if you're right-handed or left-handed. Lost count again. 9, 10, 8, 7. I have no idea. But must have been 12 because it's pretty good. And I just lost my blocks. Another hazard of having too much stuff on your workbench. I'm trying to make treble bleeds down here and wire jacks, and didn't want to put all that stuff away because I'm kind of working on some stuff here. So I run out of room. Okay, but there you go. It is flat and it's rounded off and smooth and not going to cut my fingers or anybody else's fingers. Now it's not perfect, but I'm going to, when I get all these done, I went over these. Listen, this is 220. Just go over these edges. 220, and I'll use some 400 probably, because I want to take this, also want to get this edge of this fretboard smooth. I made some Mars in it, and it's sharp as a, it's sharp. It's very sharp machine cut, so go over this when I'm finished, all of them, and I'll use a sanding block, a sponge sanding block, and get them all done. But that's something I'll show you again when I'm ready to do a little more finish work on this, because there is a lip here. This is all going to have to be sanded after this gets shaped down, rounded. This is all going to be sanded and touched up. But basically, that's how you do it. Of course, now I need my blocks back. I'll do one more quick, just to show you. Set it up in the groove, kind of pretty much eye it up so it's sort of in the middle. Tap it in, switch over to the rubber end. And I'm not hitting this really hard. That's all it takes. In there pretty well. And I'll take this guy again. Go part way up, cut, then all the way up, flush, cut. Nice. When you make your first cut, if you can't get all, don't jam it all the way in there, because the piece will get stuck in there and then it's a pain in the butt to get it out. Yeah, these are working nice. Nice, nice, nice. Here you go. One more time. Up and down to get this edge smoothed out a little bit. Remember to use your finger as a guide, because because there's no edge on this, you're not going to hurt your skin, your finger. Your poor little finger, I'm not going to hurt it. All right, angle back a little bit. That's fairly good. All right, make sure you have the curvy end on the bottom. Finger is a guide. Kind of go curve over top, curve over top. Of course, I lost count again. I think that's 12. Feels pretty good. Other side, like I said, I don't know. If you can't do this with both hands, I don't know. I don't even know how you would do it. You could do it like this, then you lose the ability to put your finger there as a guide. Learn to do it with both hands. Don't be a wuss. That's the solution. Stop being a wuss. Learn to use your tools with both hands. What else do you have to do? Right? Got your whole life ahead of you. You want to go through your whole life only being able to use a file with one hand? That's stupid. Stupid. All right. Nice. I don't know, you probably can't see that. I can't see if you can see it or not, but smooth. All right, one last time. Finger guide. Yeah, let's do this edge first. You don't have to go real short strokes, you can go long. Whatever you feel like. There's no rules of this stuff. I make this stuff up as I go along. My stupid work phone. It's like I stopped working like 3 hours ago. I'm still getting emails. All right, there you go, smooth as silk. Very important, make sure you have the right edge down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, turn it, 8, 9, turn it, 10, 11. Sound like a exercise instructor. All right, forward, turn it, and turn, and 4, and 6, and 8, and... Damn, works like a charm every time. All right, there you go. That is how I'm putting frets on here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go, and I certainly am not going to torture you by making you watch any more of this. That's how you do it. Okay, this neck is going on a special build I have coming up after I'm done the cigar box. It's a thin line Telecaster I'm building. And I got this neck for it. It's actually a left-handed Strat neck. And when I got this out of the box, I like these orange fret dots. That was even more appealing to me than just the, I like the left-handed and I wanted the rosewood fretboard and all that. But these frets were horribly sharp when I took it out of the box, and I could feel it. And when I go back and I feel them on my other guitars, the Jagacaster, which is not, that's downstairs because that's one I've been using for practice. That's the only one that I don't have that problem on. And that neck was a Music Man style neck. It was a Chinese copy like all these are, but it was that had no problems with that. But this, I have a Schecter. I have a Schecter guitar that has the most beautiful smooth frets on, and I'm telling you, this feels almost that good. And I did these just noodling around, you know, noodling around with this. So I highly recommend you get one of these. Like I said, it was like 11 bucks. And now that I know that I've used this, and I can look at the edge on here, now you can see it's got a couple marks on it, but there's no nicks in it. I mean, this thing just bit right through those. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. When I'm done with the 5, then I'll really give my opinion on this. But I can tell you right now, it's a whole hell of a lot better than this. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta knuckle down and put the money out and get something decent. This little thing is like, it's amazing. It is an amazing thing. It's going to save all of those necks and save my hands from horrible cuts and infections, and who needs that? So anyway, I digress as usual. So as I said, I'm going to do the rest of these, and then what I'm going to do is cut those 2 pieces of this. Not going to do that in this video. I have the one marked off already, and I have the, maybe I'll find the other one. I don't know. I already cut one of these. It's around here somewhere. But then they'll get glued on there, and then it'll have a super gigantic big headstock. But then I can create a pattern or whatever I want. And it's only going to have 3 strings. So, you know, chances are the tuners are going to be in this piece anyway, which is fine. This is a nice, good piece of maple. It's nice to have the tuners in that. But I'm going to have something on here, some kind of decoration to make this look a little bigger. I don't know if I'll even just maybe, who knows? I don't know. But, and I could change my mind about the whole thing. That's been known to happen. And I'm just rambling, so I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope you learned something from this. I sure did from this project. This is one of the best fret jobs I'm going to have, and all thanks to a couple of tools, especially this one little $11 file. So, till next time, thanks for tuning in, and tune back in for the next one when we do something else with this cigar box guitar.